Yesterday we were observing Disappearance Day of our Parangurudev. So we heard in his last Harikatha, last message, he said that we have to have one-pointed devotion to Krishna only, because he is the only object of worship, because he is Supreme Lord, he is Master of all. Ekale Ishwar Krishna Arso Britya. Chaitanya Charitamrita, only one is Master, all others are servants. And in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigrahanadi Radhir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the root and he is Supreme Master, controller everything. So he is the only one who is the object of worship. Other demigods, they are his energy. They are also his servants. So we should not keep them on the same level. We should not worship demigods as if they are some Supreme Lord. No. There is a relation between them. So, like a wife, she will not put anyone on the position of her husband, but will give due respect and due service to how they are related to him. Like demigods also say, we have to respect them and as servants of Krishna and pray to them for devotion to Krishna, not worshipping separately and for some other desires. That will be detrimental to our ultimate goal of life. So that was one teaching. Another teaching is that one cannot vote to decide who is Acharya because Acharya is one, according to Shastra, one who knows the purport of Shastra, which is devotion to Krishna, and he is himself practicing that. He is fully dedicated to the service of Krishna, and by his own example, he is teaching others. He is Acharya. So you cannot impose this on someone. Those who are completely surrendered to Krishna, when Krishna orders them such service, then they become acharyas. They will help other jivas how to worship Krishna. Acharya mam bijanyat. Krishna says in Bhagavatam, I am the acharya. Means he is inside that acharya. He is giving that shakti and that revelations and everything what is necessary. Krishna is giving. Krishna is engaging them in such service that they will worship him. But no one can unauthorizedly can be acharya, or like someone may be self-claimed, or some conditioned souls, they will gather together and they will say, yes, he is Acharya. They will vote. And Sai Maharaj also told, some are saying they will declare he is God. But you cannot, God is not produced or selected like that. So in all sampradayas, it is like this, that who is completely surrendered to Krishna, then Krishna will decide. He will do this service. So our Parangurudev told that he also consulted with his god brothers and all approved that our Gurudev will become Acharya. And Parangurudev already before told, if any of my disciples feel qualified and they want to serve in this way, to accept disciples and lead them to the service of Krishna, they may do. How I can prevent them of this service? but they should do their own mission. For Chaitanya Gauriya Math, this mission, I am selecting one Acharya, and it is him. But if anyone else, he must make his own mission, and it already happened during the time of Parang Gurudev. One brahmachari, he was feeling encouraged to do this seva, and Parang Gurudev approved. Even Parang Gurudev even came to that place where he was staying in that house, and Parang Gurudev himself installed the deities of Radha Krishna there. He fully approved. So that will be like some center, and he will engage them in the service of Krishna. He will guide them during the time of Parang Gurudev. But for Chaitanya Gauriya Math, he selected our Gurudev that we heard. And he also told that the essence of my instruction is you have to follow a pure devotee. You have to follow his instructions. You have to serve Krishna under his guidance, because the blessing of Krishna will follow the blessing of Vaishnava. So don't independently try to do anything, but follow the order of pure devotee. In this case, our Gurudev. After Parang Gurudev will disappear, you have to follow him. Then further Parang Gurudev told, it will not be correct if you try to expel someone out of the mud as soon as there is some discord, when some quarrel happening, then throw him out. No. That will result in chaos. You first have to explain and try to clarify the situation. If that still doesn't work, then give the devotee who is causing problems some money and a letter and send him to another mat. It happened during the time of our Guru. Means I am aware of one case, but maybe there are other cases also. Someone was causing some problem, and some other devotees, they were complaining, but Gurudev did not immediately give any decision. First, he sent some independent group of devotees to find out. Gurudev told, first you have to find out the facts. What is the actual fact? Because one side will say one thing out of their emotion, another will say another thing, and first we have to see what is the fact, not give any biased judgment, conclusion. No, first Gurudev said, first you have to clarify. Means Gurudev followed Parang Gurudev in this matter, not hastily doing anything. But first you have to see what is the fact, clarify, and try to rectify. You try to explain and everything, but sometimes it is because we are not pure devotees, so certain anarthas may be there, and two persons anarthas, they are all the time in clashing, and sometimes it is necessary to separate them. So in that case, the one will be asked to leave. But Parang Gurudev did not want he should be like kicked out, no, he is also devotee, but due to some pressure of some bad habits and like this, he is causing some problem, so you send him to another mat, another Gauriya mat. Also it happened, during the time of our Parang Gurudev, in Assam, or it was before in some other place, I don't remember now. There was one brahmachari in Dimad, and he was very nice sevak. He used to play mridanga, he used to different services and singing and everything, but he had that hot-tempered nature or short-tempered nature. He could easily get irritated and angry, and then he will shout or sometimes beat or something. So other brahmacharis, they were complaining to Parangudev. Then Parangudev called him and tried to explain to him that we are hearing in Gita, Krishna is telling there are 3 roads to hell. That is lust, anger, greed. So you try to give up those other desires, and it is not good to become angry like this. Parangudev always took time. For 1 hour he was explaining to him, and that brahmachari, he accepted. Said, yes, I know my drawbacks and everything. I will try. So like this, but then again, something irritated him or someone. Then he became very violent, and then he took that cutter, that machete, and he cut down one tree very violently. Then again others were afraid. And again they were complaining to Parangudev like this. It was going on, and Parangudev used to explain to him and everything. He said, yes, I know. That is why I cut the tree. I did not harm anyone. I cut the tree. Then Parangudev said, even you should not cut the tree. It is not good. In this way you try to control, and you are very good sevak. Affectionately he tried to explain. And he kept him. But then some other brahmacharis, they start to speak that actually Gurudev is supporting him. That is why he's keeping him in the mat. It was not true. But because they were speaking in that way, it is not good. Yes, and before that also he was explaining to that brahmachari and to other brahmacharis that you try to be tolerant and patient. I am trying my best. I am explaining to him, and he came to the mat, he's serving. So be patient, be tolerant. To both sides, Parangudev tried to explain. Then, when this came, then Parangudev called everyone in the room. Because like Ramachandra, king, when they were speaking against Sita, something that one citizen, when Lakshman was going the city, then what is the news? Then Lakshman or some other messenger, I don't know, said, today I heard something very bad. One person was quarreling with his wife, and that wife was somewhere outside, and they were quarreling. Then that husband said, I will not keep you here in this house. I will not maintain you. I am not like Ramachandra, who after Sita was there for 1 year in that demon's house, he accepted her. I am not like him. So when this happened, it is for king, that is, he must do something, because people, even if wrong, false accusation, he has to do something. So he had to banish Sita to the forest, because such speaking was there. So like that, our Parangudev, when it was like he is supporting him, then Parangudev called everyone in his room and was explaining to that brahmachari. Already before he explained to another brahmacharis, he told how I can send him back. He passed through so many births, and now he got this human birth, and he got sadhu sangha. He came to worship Krishna. How I can send him back to Maya? How? In this way he was explaining, I'm trying, be patient, I'm trying. So now Parangurudev was explaining to that brahmachari, actually other devotees, they don't want you to remain in the mud. So I'm requesting you, and all the time crying, Parangurudev. Our Gurudev was there also. He said Parangurudev was crying all the time out of compassion. That when our Gurudev used to explain that song, Ohe Vaishnava Thakur Doyara Sagar, that Vaishnav Thakur is ocean of mercy, Doyara Sagar. He said, I saw this in our Gurudev at that time. How he was crying for one jiva soul out of compassion. He said he was crying all the time, but from us, not a drop of tear came out. There is a difference between a realized soul who has compassion for all jivas and us. So Parangurudev was crying. He said, they don't want you to stay here. So I'm requesting you please go back to your house, but you don't give up worshipping Supreme Lord. You are very good seva. You know how to play mridanga. You know how to sing songs, everything. I'm requesting you please do bhajan in your house. In this way, and crying all the time. So, under strange circumstances, this had to happen. And our Gurudev also, he said, first we have to clarify the situation from all sides. What is the fact? And if there is some, here Parangurudev said, not emotionally, immediately you kick out someone. No, you have to see, and if still it will be impossible that they will remain together, then you send him to another mat, that he should go on doing his service. Because real devotee, he's not after disciples, more and more followers and more money. Like that is not his target. His target is to serve Krishna, to bring jivas to serve him. So those jivas whom Krishna sends to him, he will try to engage them in the service. And or he will be very happy if another guru is doing this for the service of Krishna. So there is no competition here who will gather more disciples and who will steal another's disciples and bring them into his own fold and convert them like this. That is totally out of the mind of pure devotee. That is conditioned souls we are thinking like this. But pure devotee, his target is satisfaction of Krishna. So Parangurudev said, then you send him to another mat, but don't he should go on with the service of Krishna. So this instruction, and you give that letter of explanation and some money for travel expenses and for their donation, something you give. And it happened also in opposite way. In one disciple of Srila Sai Maharaj, you will find in his letters, first he came in contact with our Parangurudev, was hearing Harikatha, and he became interested in the service of Krishna. First faith he got through our Parangurudev, but later he met Srila Sai Maharaj and he took initiation from him and was serving in Mayapur, ISKCON. But then some problems, something happened with something happened, so that disciple became very much discouraged. And he wrote a letter to Sai Maharaj and explaining all situation. And also he told, I would like to join Madhava Goswami Maharaj, because it is through him I first got faith. So then Sai Maharaj, after knowing all the facts and everything, he said, I am helpless. I cannot manage everything. I am traveling and I cannot, sometimes these things happening. I'm sorry, and all this he was telling. And he said, I have no objection if you will go to Srila Madhava Goswami Maharaj and take initiation from him, re-initiation from him. It is with my blessing. You will find in the letters of Sai Maharaj. You go there and you develop your Krishna consciousness. So that is proper pure devotee's action. He always wants to serve Krishna and wants the welfare of all jivas, not this collection of. So, and Swami Maharaj also sent letter to our Param Gurudev that he is my disciple, such and such thing happened, so I am sending you to him, please take care of him. I am giving my full blessing that he should again take initiation from you. I am releasing him and he should take from you. So that is proper behavior. Not at all cost try to convert forcefully into your own fold for the sake of something. That is not proper. So do not act, Param Gurudev continues, do not act impetuously, but try to work together and follow the person who has been made leader. Means in our mat, our Gurudev, it is not proper to ignore his commands and to do as one pleases. One has to follow the directions of the temple commanders. All his commands are given for the service of the Lord. Bear that in mind. Also in our Gurudev's letter, I saw that those who are mat in charge, that position is given by Acharya, Gurudev President. So they are temple commanders. So their instructions are for the service of Krishna. But if there is anything, some problem is there, then those who are having those problems, some grievances, they should not speak about this outside, because people will not understand. They should speak to the Acharya, and Acharya will clarify the matter and explain, or see whether there was any fault in that temple commander, and then he will take care of that. So not to act impetuously and like this. Param Gurudev continues, I want to say one more thing. We have come here to engage in devotional service to Krishna. There are three principal impediments we have to watch out for. So one thing is service, another is impediments are also there that we have to remove. If this is not in our view, then we cannot progress in actual devotion. We will do something else in the name of devotion. So here Param Gurudev continues, the first is the desire for sense gratification. The first obstacle to devotional service is kanaka, or gold, the greed to accumulate lots of money. Your attention, your attachment should be fixed on Krishna's lotus feet. If you become attached to anything else, you will fall down. You should not think that because outsiders will not understand, you should save money for a rainy day. Mendicants beg, that is their duty. But they should turn whatever money they collect over to the mat. That is for Madhavasis, they have to beg. That is, in this way they are maintaining themselves. Householder, they will earn money. But the point is, one has to accept, one has to be attached to Krishna. I am of him, he is mine, and he is the only maintainer and protector. So they will do according to what Krishna desires, not anything outside of that. Like, I will save money for a rainy day, it means for Madhavasis. That is not proper. All money which they collect in the name of the Mat, they should give on the same day to temple president. He will then utilize it for the service of Krishna. Should not keep bank accounts and some like this. That is some other desire then. That is not proper. Krishna is maintainer. He will maintain. The temple manager, Parangurudev continues, the temple managers should note that they must arrange for treatment if any temple devotee falls ill. If necessary, they should borrow money, but they must see that the devotee is taken care of. Here I want to tell one example, which is generally not so much known, but it is known to those who know, that here Parangurudev is saying about Madhavasis, but Parangurudev was having such love for his god brothers, all god brothers, because he saw them as those who were blessed by his Gurudev. In this way, by showing his love for all his god brothers, he showed his actual love for Prabhupada, his Gurudev. So, though Srila Sai Maharaj, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Sai Maharaj, was household devotee at that time, but disciple of Prabhupada, he became ill with some difficult and contagious disease. That was when he was still in household life, and our Parangurudev was in rented place in Calcutta. His family members, they rejected him, and the treatment for that disease was also very expensive. But immediately when Parangurudev heard, immediately he told to brahmacharis to bring him to the mat, and he made one separate room for him, and he borrowed money and collecting for his treatment for 6 months it was, and for prasad and all arrangements, household devotee, but disciple of his Gurudev. He was taking care of him, otherwise he would die that time. Sai Maharaj would die. If without treatment he would die, and family members, they rejected. So he did this because he feels this, it is a duty like that. So all temple commanders, they are getting the money from collection that should be utilized for the service of Krishna, and in the service of Krishna this is included for all the necessities of his sevaks, for treatment, for groceries, or everything. Even necessary, you have to borrow. Then Parangurudev will give example here. I can remember a time in the mat when, that was during the time of when they came out from Chaitanya Mat and they were just starting. So I can remember a time in the mat when we didn't even have money for groceries. Then I borrowed money from someone without telling any of the devotees and went and bought food from the market. Only Udaran Prabhu knew about it. Udaran Prabhu would also go to a householder's place and borrow money from him. The householder was Govinda Babu. If Govinda Babu didn't have any money, he borrowed it from his wife. Later, I paid all the money back. How many people know about that? Or maybe it was during the time of Prabhupada also, I'm not sure now, because further he says, Sripad Goswami Maharaj, Sripad Nemi Maharaj, and I did all the collecting. That was during Prabhupada. So, one time also I heard in the recordings of Srila Sridhar Maharaj that once they took a loan, Sridhar Maharaj and Parangurudev, for some program or something, something was there, or no, for some construction. And then they told to Prabhupada, and they thought that he will be displeased. But Prabhupada was very pleased. He said, yes, this is very good, because now you made that in future also you will serve Krishna, because you will have to pay back that loan, so you guaranteed your service in the future. So he was very happy that they took such a responsibility. You can take a loan, you can be indebted, but for the service of Krishna, because that will force you to engage in the service of Krishna. So here also, Parangurudev used to sometimes borrow money, and then he would pay back, because this Govinda Babu, he was household devotee. So day 3, that is Gosai Maharaj, we were hearing about him, Srila Bhakti Saranga Gosai Maharaj, then Shripad Gabasti Nemi Maharaj, Prabhupada's disciple sannyasi, and I, means Parangurudev, did all the collecting. That was also the reason why Prabhupada, one of the reasons why Prabhupada did not send him to London to preach, because others say, if you send him, then who will collect? He's collecting half of all necessities for our mat. If you send him, then we will not be able to manage. And Prabhupada also wanted to give him sannyas. And Parangurudev said that if you give me sannyas, of course, I have to follow your order. But I think that according to my present seva of collecting, I can do better without being sannyasi, because as sannyasi I will have to have some other this. So my purpose is seva. Then Prabhupada agreed, yes, you are correct. The main importance is seva, not some position or like this. So Parangurudev, already Prabhupada wanted to give sannyas, but Parangurudev told him, why not? So they are not ordinary persons, pure devotees. They are interested in service of Krishna, not position. So I would put on a waistcoat and would go out to collect. Then I would come back and give all the money to the temple. Srimad Bhakti Pradip Tirtha Maharaj, Jajabar Maharaj and Sridhar Maharaj would accompany me. Whenever they needed something, I would buy it, but I never spent the temple collection money for myself, only for Vaishnava Seva, what is their necessity. When I was at the Kolkata Mat, that is Bagbazar Gauriya Mat, or before Ulta Danga Road, Bhakti Vinod Asam, that was first Gauriya Mat, I would say to Kunjada, he was the right-hand man of Prabhupada at that time, is there any cloth in the mat? If there is, let me have one. But I would never ask for anything that I did not need, just for pleasure. So to fulfill the needs, it is one of the limbs of devotion. You will find 8 of 64 limbs. To accept material necessities, not too much, not too less. in favor of devotion. So one should, his target is always service of Krishna. So one should not eat too much, also not too less, or wear or like this. So what is necessary for his service, that has to be accepted. So Parang Gurudev showed, I requested what I needed, but I never requested or bought anything by money which I did not need for my service of Krishna, just for sense gratification. So that we have to be careful, but also those needs, basic needs and treatment and all this, what is necessary for service, that one has to meet those. None of you should set, Parang Gurudev continue, none of you should set aside money that was collected for the temple. That will disrupt your devotional life. It doesn't really matter to the mat if you decide to hold some of the money for yourself, because the mat is protected by Krishna, maintained. The devotees, the Vaishnavas, by them it is maintained and protected. So mat will not lose anything, but you will lose spiritual life. But if you try to build up a savings account with that money, your spiritual life will go to hell and you will not last long in devotional service. So this Sharanagati we have to know, that Krishna is the only maintainer and protector, and we have to do what he wants us to do. For brahmacharis, sannyasis, it is begging, and they have to utilize everything for the service of Krishna and devotees. For householders also, they will maintain according to desire of Krishna, honestly, not too much, not too less, and in favor of devotion. Otherwise, if you miss this target, then you will be attached to something else and will lose your relation with Krishna. So please don't set money aside for your personal use. Give everything to the temple manager. If there is any problem, tell the temple manager or Acharya, our Gurudev also told, because if you are having problem with temple manager, then you have to tell to Acharya and he will correct what is there to be corrected. The desire for money is an obstacle to devotional service. So this is first one, Kanaka. The next obstacle is association with women. Both direct association and subtle association are a hindrance. It goes without saying that you don't engage in gross sexual activity, but you shouldn't even think about it, because we have given up everything to come here and engage in the service of the Lord. So that is for Madhavasis, Brahmacharis, Sannyasis. They should know that is the goal of life. So you should not do these other sense enjoyments, either gross or subtle. Even thinking, that is also not allowed. You should give your attention to Krishna, to his service. We have given up everything to come here and engage in the service of the Lord. The third obstacle is the desire for personal aggrandizement. Srila Gurudev wrote, means here, his Gurudev means Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. In that song, Vaishnav Ke, Kanaka Kamini Pratishta Bhagini, Chari Ache Jare Seito Vaishnav, Sei Anasakta, Sei Shuddha Bhakta, Sangsar Tathai Pai Parabhav. Someone who has given up the tigresses, she, tiger, of gold, woman and fame is a true Vaishnava. He is unattached and a pure devotee. He has overcome the illusory power of the material world. So Kanaka, Kamini, Pratishta, they are three obstacles for bhajan, those desires. So now Parangurudev is speaking about one who gave up all those desires. He is a pure devotee. And he overcome this illusory power of material world. Otherwise we are inside, under the influence. So further Parangurudev is telling, Prabhupada means Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. Prabhupada here compares the desires for wealth, woman and fame to a tigress. It will attack you. The desire for fame and good reputation are very strong and problematic. But even someone who does not seek fame finds that it comes to him of its own accord when he engages in true service to the Lord. People naturally give him their respect. People will always give respect to a true devotee. We are hearing during Kartik time, Kartik Brata, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Rahasya. There he is explaining, based on Sanatana Goswami's Hari Bhakti Vilas, that one can more easily give up desires for money and sexual enjoyment, Kanaka Kamini, more easy. But it is very difficult to give up desire for name and fame. And one has to be very careful about that. It is very subtle. In Mana Shiksha also of Raghunath Das Goswami you will find how it comes and how it can be removed. It's very difficult. So here Parangurudev is saying that true devotee, though he does not desire, automatically he will get, because everyone will respect a true devotee. He is giving example, Pratishtar Bhoya, Puri Gelo Polaya, Krishna Preme Pratishta Chole, Songe Goraya. Madhavendra Puri ran away, afraid of being distracted by fame. But when one has love for Krishna, fame flows alongside him. You know, when Gopinath Diti stole that kir for Madhavendra Puri, then Madhavendra Puri was in the night chanting and getting that kir, so he thought, now everyone will think I am great devotee. Krishna himself stole kir for me. They will all come and they will say, oh Jai Prabhu, or Jai Maharaj, yes, Dandavat, all they will praise me. That is not good. That will distract me from my service of Krishna. So he ran away. But he went to Puri, night time, at midnight. He went to Puri. He did not wait till morning. But when he came to Puri in the morning, already news was there. The Madhavendra Puri is a great devotee. All were praising. So it is not possible to avoid, but you should not desire. Once I heard from my Gurudev. He personally told me. I told him that when I am speaking, then I cannot avoid like also thinking about my name and fame. Then I regretted to Gurudev that automatically. Then Gurudev said, you cannot avoid other people, they may praise you or something. That you cannot avoid. Because it will come. But you should not desire that. You should not think what other people are thinking about you. That is like nothing. Where sometimes they will praise you, sometimes they will criticize you, what they will think, that is what you will gain by that. You should always think what Krishna thinks about you, what your Gurudev thinks about you, and what pure devotees think about you. that you should be concerned whether they are pleased with your service to Krishna or not, or any fault is there or something. That you should consider, that you should think, not what other conditioned souls are thinking because of their own selfish desires. Sometimes they will criticize you, sometimes they will praise you. So that is nothing. Don't think about that. So that time Gurudev told me, you cannot avoid, but you should not desire. So here, because this is the point Parang Gurudev is speaking here, that it is very problematic, but you should not desire this. So this is possible only further. Here Parang Gurudev is telling, so you avoid these three obstacles. It is not an easy thing to do, for they draw the mind. The conditioned soul lives for money, woman, and fame. They are living for this. Because of misconception of self, automatically these desires are coming. So they are living for this. So they are anarthas. Anarthas means that which is not necessary. Artha means what is necessary or valuable. That is service of Krishna. Everything else is anartha, unnecessary, separate interest. They are anarthas that remain to a greater or lesser extent in the mind of the practitioner, sadhaka, but we should not tolerate their presence or approve of them. We should not approve anarthas or keep them. No, we have to remove them. We have to try again and again to remove them. This effort to engage in the service of Krishna and to give up other desires. But if someone thinks, no, that is nothing, that has nothing to do with bhajan. Bhajan is only love, 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 and you can do everything what you like. That has nothing to do. It is not correct. Service of Krishna means serving him and giving up other separate enjoyments. That is why you will find in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Krishna Pritya Bhogotyak, one limb of devotion. Krishna Pritya Bhogotyak. For the service of Krishna, you have to give up bhog, enjoyment, separate anything. Gradually, we have to totally give up everything and fully engage in the service of Krishna. So here Parang Gurudev said you should not tolerate their presence or approve. No, that is very good. Yes, sense, enjoyment, sexual, you do. It's very good. That is not devotional. That is some other thing. Tirtha Maharaj, means our Gurudev, cannot always stay here. Means in Calcutta Math, because there are many maths. He has to travel for preaching. Tirtha Maharaj cannot always stay here. So Jagamohan Prabhu has to run the math. Calcutta Math in charge. Jagamohan Prabhu, he is also a disciple of Prabhupada. You will find his photo there in our math in Calcutta. He was very, our Gurudev said, he was a strict moralist, very ideal. And that is why Parang Gurudev gave that letter to Jagamohan Prabhu, in which he wrote that our Gurudev will be next Acharya. He gave to him in 76 already. But he told him, you should keep this letter and not open it until I disappear. After my disappearance, you open. He gave it to him because he knew he's a strict person, responsible person. So Jagamohan Prabhu did not know what is there. But after disappearance, he brought it to Mayapur and there it was confirmed, everything. So Jagamohan Prabhu. So Jagamohan Prabhu has to run the mat. Don't be offended if I am rough with you. Forgive me. See how pure devotees they are speaking. Their guru. But he's soft heart because his target is only to help us. Not to belittle us or put us down or something. No. Out with sympathy for our own welfare, they are doing this. Don't be offended if I am rough with you. Forgive me. Vaishnavas are my object of worship. Prabhupada in one Harikatha during his Vyasa Puja, he said, you are all my gurus. He explained there are 4 gurus I have, Supreme Lord, Prabhupada, Vaishnavas and my disciples. My disciples, they are also as my gurus because they are always seeing what I'm doing. So if there will be any fault, they will detect it. So I have to be very careful what I'm doing, that they are watching me, that I should always be engaged in the service of Krishna. So they are my gurus. They are Vaishnavas, they are my gurus. So always he had such mood. That is real, not to I'm owner, I will exploit everyone. No. They are seeing they are Vaishnavas. Like Srila Sridhar Maharaj explained, we pluck some flower from garden. When we offer it to Krishna's lotus feet, after that, when it is prasad, then we put that same flower on our head. Before we plucked it, like as if we are superior. But now it is prasad. We are putting it on our head. Like that, when Guru will give initiation to some disciple and will engage him in the service of Krishna, put tulsi mala and tilak he will wear and everything, then he is a Vaishnava. So Guru is never disrespecting that Vaishnava. I experienced this with our Gurudev, how he was dealing with us. That you have to experience to know how is this. This is something totally different than conditioned soul's behavior. Totally different. So here Param Gurudev is saying, Vaishnavas are my object of worship. I want to serve all of you. How he's serving? By encouraging them to properly serve Krishna. He said, this was my target, not to be rough with you, but this is my target. How you should be properly engaged in the service of our Krishna. For that is the purpose. So, Param Gurudev continues, worship the Lord with unflinching dedication. Don't stop worshipping Him, no matter what situation you are in. This is my prayer to you, my appeal and my instruction. Chant the holy name in all circumstances. Worship Krishna always. Always respect the best Vaishnava and don't hesitate to do so. May all auspiciousness follow you all. So in all circumstances, we have to do what? Worship Krishna and respect the best Vaishnava. We're thinking I'm the best, but we should not hesitate to give respect to best Vaishnava and follow his instruction. Then it will be proper service to Krishna. That is pure service. So May all auspiciousness follow you all. Means blessing. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just like desire trees which can bestow all that is wished for. They are oceans of compassion who purify the fallen souls. So that was the last message of our Parangurudev. Then after some time, he disappeared, as we heard yesterday, and Samadhi was performed in Mayapur. So our Gurudev gave much importance on these last instructions of his Gurudev, means Parangurudev, and also last instruction of Prabhupada Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, also few days before he disappeared. Is very important points in these two, both, that we have to think very deeply and follow. Then our auspiciousness is assured. This we have to follow. So tomorrow we will continue hearing Bhagavatam.